Hello, everybody. This is Paul Puna. We are live right now. I'm super excited. A lot of cool things to talk about. VideoExpress, the updates we've made, and some things like that as well. Now, of course, a quick point here, real quick, I want to mention here is for those who are joining in a little bit later and stuff like that, there will be an instant replay up on YouTube or our Facebook group or other places as well. Okay. Now, a couple of things real quick while we begin here. This is going to be all about training. There's going to be nothing for sale here, nothing to really for you to even buy. I wish I could sell you something, but there's nothing for you to buy here, right? So one thing I want to mention here real quick while we're getting up to speed here is just make sure that when I'm talking about some points here, right, that you have any questions along the way, just ask the questions and then I'll go along and then obviously right away answer those questions to you in real time, okay? Now, while we are here live, again, those who are up on YouTube and stuff like that, this is going to be a completely, fast-paced training session here. And then because of that, I also want to make sure that some of you folks who are joining in late and that sort of thing are basically also paying attention to some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay. All right. Excellent. So I'm seeing everybody here is excited to be here. Now, of course, let me do the trusty hat. Okay, for some of you folks, if you guys want one of these hats, let me know. We're sending a lot of these out to users, right, as well. So that'll be there. And for you, the question was like, ¿por qué no la traducen? So that's going to be after the webinar is done. Okay, so YouTube will do it automatically or closed captions and stuff like that. So we have white, we have black. Which one do you like? Just I'm curious. We'll be giving away some of these as well as we go along, just for fun. That's also going to be very exciting. All right, obviously. Now, just another point here that I want to mention here, okay, is just make sure that if you have any questions along the way, just ask them here while we are live. Okay, is that cool? Now, while we are at it, just wanted to mention again, for those who are joining in late, there's going to be a replay in our YouTube channel, so you can watch it whenever you desire to do. If you miss out, I'll also post this in our Facebook group and stuff like that. Is that cool? All right. Now, so let's jump in here real quick. What we're going to be talking about, some things like that as well. All right. And yes, this is 100% live. Okay. All right. So Greg's like, I want a hat. All right. Cool. All right. Excellent. So the hat is going to look something like this. Either you're going to do it this way, right, and a hat like this, or you can even go and put a hat like this, the white one, whichever one you like. Considering the lighting, I think the black one is better for today. All right. Cool. All right. So what I wanted to talk about here real quick is some updates we made. And I'm going to bring in Yash as well in just a bit as well. He's going to be doing some training as well for you guys down the line. And of course, I'll post this into Facebook group. If you're not seeing this in our Facebook group for some reason, I don't see it in our Facebook group for whatever reason, but it's all cool. No worries. Sometimes, these technical issues pop up. Yash, are you seeing this on Facebook or are there any issues there? So I don't see it live in our
Uh,
Facebook group.
I can. I'll check it. You can continue.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, Yash is from our team as well. He's going to be
Hi
training
guys.
you guys as well going forward as obviously the expert. Oh, yeah, actually, I see it in our Facebook group. So let me actually make it number the top for you folks. Just some browser issues from my end. All right,
Hi
excellent.
everyone. So it's so great to meet you again, guys. Let me know if you can hear me properly. I'll be sharing a lot of cool strategies that we are seeing right now. I missed you. I missed you guys so much. And secretly I've been working on some platforms, some new projects, some new strategies that are working like crazy. Specifically when it comes to using vertical videos, using short form videos, using specific kind of hashtags, different platforms. YouTube Shorts has literally introduced new kind of because it's so crazy that, and I'm so glad, I'm so happy, I'm so excited. We're sharing that with you in the coming weeks, specifically when it comes to how you can use Video Express and how you can use the video that you generate from them and make them sales generating video. I miss seeing you. I miss seeing you all. Hey, Norman, Tom, Carl, Marcy, and it's going to be now a new normal for we'll be live on YouTube and Facebook every single week sharing you the strategy. Specifically, I'm right now honing in on local business strategies, because there are some strategies where, with YouTube Shorts specifically, you get international reach, right? But a lot of people like, okay, I have a dentist, or I have a chiropractor, or I have a plastic surgeon, or I have a roofer, but I wanted to do and I wanted to show them my video, or I wanted to show my videos to their potential customer, but only in that specific area. What can we do, right? I got a solution for that. Number one. Number two, what kind of e-commerce strategies that are working right now, specifically when there is TikTok shops that is going crazy. We are seeing a rise of social commerce. How can you utilize the video that you create, link your product with them, and generate free traffic, right? Generate sales generating traffic. So it's so powerful, and I can't wait to share all of them with you. So yeah, Paul, I guess we can go into the end-to-end video creation in this training. And then as we move on, we every single week, we're going to talk about one platform, right? We're going to master one platform, and then we're going to move to different platform, different strategies, right? One platform each week. And I promise I'm going to make you master it, even if you're just starting out, even if you have never uploaded your single shot ever before, right? So I see someone asking, what's the difference between two applications of ours? Definitely, VideoExpress. It's more of it gives you more freedom, right? It gives you more freedom for your ideas to come into life. Wherein another software that you mentioned, Video Creator, it gives you more templates, right? Gives you more templates and more options and sizes and all things to play with. So those are the kind of things, right? So yeah, hi everyone, and so yeah, let's get into. Paul, you're sharing a screen.
Yeah. I'm gonna get started in just a second. Yeah, so we had some technical issue with our Facebook group, folks. So just make sure you watch on YouTube right now. Basically, some access details or whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll sort it
Yeah,
out. Later, I'll post a replay up in our Facebook group as well and tag
yeah,
everybody for those who are not in our Facebook group. All right. But anyway, I sent you all the YouTube links so you can all see it there. All right. Now, a couple of things real quick. So I want to mention here. This is going to be a collaborative webinar. Okay. So all your questions will be answered live. That's the key thing. Otherwise, how are you learning, right? The other thing as well is the replay will be up automatically, as I mentioned as well. Now, let me share my screen here real
yeah.
quick. I kind of want to talk about some points here. Let's see here. All right, excellent. So these are the new updates we've just made. And so first of all is that we've done direct with subtitle integration. So how this works, I'll show you that in just a second, is that we've linked your with subtitle account and also your VideoExpress account so that when a video is created in the VideoExpress, it's all in all your accounts, by the way, right now. When it's created, and then when it is actually published, they're all both linked. Okay, so that way what happens is you don't have to manually download it and upload it back into its subtitle, add captions and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'll walk you through how that works in just a second. We have tutorials on that as well, by the way. Now the other one which I want to talk about, which is really cool, one of the things that I saw from a lot of users was like when you're doing text prompts, right, voice prompts, right, you're actually speaking and you're getting it to write text, right, convert your speech to text. It takes a little bit of time, right? Because what we're doing is speech to text, right? But we created a system where it's instant now. It's really awesome on Google Chrome. If you're using Google Chrome browser, it's instant. With other ones, a little bit longer because we used a new system that is super awesome. Okay. And another thing is coming up is our Artily.ai integration. So if you have Artily, the image generation platform, which is coming up with version 3.0 soon, by the way, in about we are aiming for 2 weeks now, but might be plus or minus a few days. We just want to make sure it's perfect. That update tends to blow you away. It's incredible. Now the way is that we will make it such that, and I'll show you how that works. I think my admin account has it, but in case it doesn't either way, the idea is that it's going to be up by next week for sure. I'll do it live training to show you that all the images in Artistry will be compatible with your VideoExpress, so you can convert the images into videos basically, and it'll be direct integration. So both of your accounts, your Artistry account and your VideoExpress account, will be together. And the other one is our roadmap. We've had our roadmap up. We've actually taken all your feature requests from Facebook group, from our Skype group and WhatsApp groups and all the other places you guys and support desk you guys have been sending us stuff. And basically what we've done is that we've taken those feedbacks in and we've posted that in to the roadmap. But of course, you can vote for it, and that's the thing. So actually, let me do it in another way around, right? Let me do it reverse order just for keep it fun. So the roadmap is located in roadmap.videoexpress.ai. Let's talk about that real quick because it's the fastest one to discuss. Then we can go end to end. So this is the link. So when you go there, it's going to be roadmap video express. Well, let me actually remove this and add my screen one more time. So let me do that. So then the roadmap, if you go into that page, it's going to basically show you, well, let's see here. All right, cool. So share. All right. So this is the roadmap. So it's going to look something like this. So what I recommend you folks to do is right now go to this and basically upvote what you like. Okay. So we took all your feature requests. Some stuff we've already done, like with subtitle direct integration, the Artily integration you folks were asking, all that we're already doing. But if you see anything here that you like, that's not a bug per se. Like if it's a bug, obviously it's going to be, or something not working perfectly, it's obviously going to be prioritized. But for this one, we're gonna basically prioritize what you do. So, like for example, right now, Artily AI integration with VideoExpress. This is number one, and this is what we're working on, right? Even there's only two. So whatever you guys like here, do it. If the way we're gonna do the roadmap is if it's fastest to do, like let's say for example, we have top four, right? Like let's say this is top four, and if this one is the fastest for us to create, like 3 days or something, we'll prioritize and get this one done, even though this might be ranked higher, because some it might take a month or 2 months because we got to test, right? Research and development takes some time sometimes. So that's the other thing. Okay. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention here real quick as well is this other part, which is going to be awesome, hopefully, is that we also, as I mentioned, when a roadmap feature comes in and you're posting it and people keep requesting it, we have a team right now where we can do them simultaneously. Okay, so just because something is putting in progress here, let's say like this, doesn't mean that these other things are not being done. Because why that happens is there's different people working on different things in our team, so one will not slow down the other. It's just a question of like which person comes into which area, right? Now that's the other one. Okay, so now, the other thing that I wanted to mention here real quick is when we go into the feature requests and stuff like that, I want you to think about the use cases long term. Okay, this is something that I want to focus on a lot in our trainings. And when I talk about it, sometimes people don't understand it as much as I would like. So that's why I'm going to open the application and show you that. So what I mean is when we talk about, let's say with subtitle integration, right? There's a specific reason why this integration is powerful. It speeds up your workflow, your time, and also when you're doing, let's say, vertical videos or resizing videos, it'll speed up your time, right? The workflow and that sort of thing. So that's the reason why we're doing these things. So when it comes to an Artily integration, same thing, right? When we're talking about image generation, so Artily will do really, really good job with images more than any other application in the industry, right? Especially with the version 3.0 coming up, it will be the best, no question about it. I'm very confident about that fact. When you test it, you'll know, right? So then because of that, we want to focus the image generation aspect to make Artily the best image generation aspect creator in the planet. And then we'll focus on VideoExpress being the best AI video creation platform in the planet. Does that make sense? So that way we can focus our energies on making each application the best. We don't want to make VideoExpress both an image generator and a video generator. That's not the focus as well long term. Artily will do its job properly. VideoExpress will do its job properly, and we can focus on the features along the way to make them the better approach. And both of them, when we integrate them together, you can use the power of both, right? Say, for example, things like in painting that we have in Artily, things like, for example, adding sunglasses to images or some things like that, right? We can do much better in Artily because we've designed the application to be an image like a Photoshop, let's say, for example, right? So, and we'll only develop it further in line of competing against, say, a Photoshop or a Canva, right? And with VideoExpress, we'll go in line to compete against an OpenAI Sora, let's say, for example, Runway ML, that sort of thing, right? Pika Labs, there's some other platforms for AI video creation, right? So that would be the goal. Just want to be clear. I know sometimes, people are like, I want everything in this application. The thing is, the workflow, the how the user experience works, how the steps work, right? It'll make a lot more sense when you integrate two applications together than it is to individually add everything. Then you become a jack of all trades, master of none, which is not something you want to do, right? So think of it this way, right? Like when you're using a toothbrush, you don't want the toothbrush to also be a pencil, right? A pencil will do its job, a pen will do its job, a toothbrush will do its job, right? You don't want both of them to, your toothbrush to become your pen, and then now it doesn't become a good toothbrush, becomes a half a useful pen and half a useful toothbrush, right? That's the basic idea of what I'm trying to get at here, okay? Now, let's talk about a little bit about basically these integrations right now. But before I get to the integrations, I just want to mention here, as I always say, one of the things people always wonder is, okay, the integrations are great. but how do I actually use it for results? So that's what I'm going to be talking about right now, because this is very critical. Then we'll talk about the integrations one by one. Okay. So first of all, this is something Yash is also going to be talking about as we go along in our training sessions and stuff, because he's good at, right? He's a specialist. We spend millions of dollars in advertising, right? In generating traffic, optimizing things, right? Growing businesses. These are the things that we master. So he's good at some things. I'm good at some things, right? Maybe you're good at some things as well, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring all the experts in our team together to assist you in getting you to the next level. Okay. That's the goal here. As I mentioned, the goal is that as we develop these applications, we want to talk about how you can get results from them. Okay. So in line with that, so let me actually kind of do something here. Let me share my screen. Oops. Let me do this here real quick. All right. So basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through some little simple steps that I want you to think about, like in the back of your mind, when you're doing an end-to-end video creation process. And then I'll show you how these updates we're making will all come together. Okay. That will give you an entire timeline and an idea of what is required for you to succeed and that kind of thing. All right. So let's do that right now. Let me see here. Okay, cool. All right. Here we go. Cool. All right. So let's walk you through the process here, okay, real quick, because one of the biggest issues people have always is they're like, okay, I want to create a video, right? Like, so generally, right, when we talk about a video, right, let's say a video we are publishing to YouTube, let's say, or TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, whatever it might be, right? The video is actually like, if you look at a timeline, right? Let's say this is the timeline here, right? So, and then let's just put like a little flag here in the end, a little bit, if you will. So let's just say we put a little flag here. This is the finish line, right? Like, you know, how Mario is jumping around in levels and at the end he has the flag, right? Similarly, if we start, so the actual end result we are trying to do is want to create a video, right? The video which will be published to YouTube or to whatever, right? Different platforms, doesn't matter. So this is the end result. But to get there, there are some steps that we need to follow, right? That's why when we talk about end to end, you want to start the beginning with the end in mind. Does that make sense? Because what I mean is, if it is going to be YouTube, right, you want to make sure you understand what you're trying to do. If it's a YouTube short, it's going to be a vertical video, right? So if I come back here, let's do that. So if it's, let's say a YT short, we'd like to call it, right? It's going to be a vertical video, right? So that's going to be a video that looks something like this for a mobile device, right? So if you're doing a vertical video and then it's a YouTube short, you want to make it under 1 minute long, okay? So that's going to be 1 minute long, right? So this way, then I'm creating my script. It's going to be a 1 minute script. It's always going to be 45 seconds, 50 seconds and stuff like that, right? In that short period of time, I don't have much time to explain everything about a product or service. So I want to basically shorten down and summarize the key elements, right? There's going to be a lot of jump cuts. There's going to be a lot of fast cuts. There's going to be a lot of transitions, stuff like that. Everything that's in VideoExpress, but this will allow you to understand things better because you're like, okay, I'm going to create it for YouTube Shorts, and then TikTok is the same thing, right? So when I say YouTube Shorts, IG Reels, TikTok, and this is all interchangeable. So we'll say IG, Instagram Reels, same thing. Concept is the same, right? So when you do this work once, it'll apply for TikTok, Instagram Reels, other platforms as well, okay? Similarly, okay, and when you're trying to create a YouTube or a Facebook timeline type of a video, understand this. When you're trying to do this timeline-based videos, these are your landscape videos, okay? So again, very important you understand that, because in VideoExpress, the frames you create, the videos you create will now be landscape. Landscape is something like this, right? You're going to have the video play button and you're going to have a landscape video. Now, this can be up to 3 to 5 minutes long, okay? I don't recommend you to create longer than this because to captivate attention, it's much harder, especially if you're not in front of the camera, okay? So that's why generally 3 to 5 minutes is the general length. Sometimes you can go even lower, 2 minutes long and stuff, depending on what you're doing. So this is generally the idea. This will also work for the same way for Facebook timeline, right? Newsfeed, that kind of thing. So Facebook as well. Okay, now we understood this part, right? So everything is clear on this. So the end goal is we are creating a short. It's a vertical video. If it's going to be YouTube, a normal video, like an educational video, you want to be 3 to 5 minutes long, but it's going to be a landscape video. You don't do a short video that is 3 minutes long, not going to work, okay? You got to know the platforms, right? You got to know the algorithms here. When people are using their phones, they don't want to spend too much time on a short video, for example, right? They just want to keep moving their finger, right? And so this is the idea. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, let's just look at the timeline again. That's why I say start with the end in mind, right? See, I moved the end a little bit because the strategy here matters. So the other thing we have to talk about is the algorithm itself. Okay, let's talk about the algorithm. Okay, and this is something that it's constantly changing, but I'm going to talk about what doesn't change. Okay, is that cool? Because if I say something, this is how the algorithm works, and then you're going to be like, oh, okay, Paul, you said this, but it changed like 2 days from now. It doesn't help, right? So I'll just talk about what is constant. Okay, algorithm. So this is basically when we say algorithm, this is how YouTube works, the Facebook works, blah blah blah, right? So what happens is the algorithm is, first of all, for videos, is based on number one priority is watch time. Okay, so how much time people are spending in a video. The second biggest metric in regards to this is how many finished the video. Okay, finished. Okay, so meaning you have a 1 minute video, how many of them finish the 1 minute as opposed to skipping at 40 seconds long or whatever, right? That's the second priority. The third priority is share. How many people have shared this video to friends, okay? Or in Facebook, YouTube. Sometimes, you give a YouTube link, right, to people you share. They want to know that. How many came outside of YouTube into the channel because you shared it to somebody else, right? Same thing with Facebook. How many shared that Facebook video link or Instagram link to their friends through a message or whatever, right? They'll score this higher, right? If you put points, basically. And then the fourth one is comments, okay? Meaning comments are going to be ranked. So the more comments a post gets, the more virality it will get. And then the fifth one is basically likes and that sort of thing, okay? So basically, this is the flow, okay? So that means, for example, you got to think now, right? When you're creating videos, when I say finish time, right? This matters a lot more for you when it's a 1 minute video because you ain't going to get much watch time for a video that has fewer views, right? But if it's a 3 to 5 minute video, it's much easier to get a higher watch time, right? Meaning one user is watching multiple videos, right? Related videos and all that. So, and even sharing sometimes is not in your control because sometimes you're just doing a video, people will like some comment, they'll share. Comments too, not so easy to get videos to get. So what you're really focused on, realistically, is the finish. In my opinion, that will apply for both, right? Whether it's a 1 minute video or whatever. So, so does that make sense so far? Let me know, because you got to understand this, right? If you don't know what game you're playing, how are you going to win? How do you know what's success or failure, right? So what I've been focused on is what I can control, right? So when we look at sports, when you look at major athletes, you look at, say, really successful business people and stuff like that, what they will do is they will control what they can control, right? What we look to call as control the controllables, right? And they will not waste their time on stuff that they cannot control. So for example, I cannot control how many people will share a video, right? I cannot. It's very much harder, right? I cannot even, control in many cases how many likes a video gets. Even if I say in a video, subscribe or whatever, like or whatever, not many people will do it, right? There's no compulsion, right? So realistically, if you look at it, the finished video thing, you can control 100% of the time. And even I would say comments, you could also control by creating a topic which elicits responses back, right? Let's say, for example, you're creating a recipe video. Hey, did you like this recipe? Or let's say your grandma taught you some other recipe similar to this. Instead of using this spice or this ingredient, maybe you use something else. Let me know in the chat, in the comment section or something like that, right? In your text to speech, you can just say something like that, right? So that's totally fine. Okay, you can get comments that way too, but finishing of the video is the most critical thing, right? That's what we are focused on. Whether even a lot of people don't know this, but even on YouTube Shorts, even on TikTok, even on that 1 minute video, it matters how many people finished, right? So every second matters, right? So when we were consulting with some of the top folks over at Instagram and over at TikTok and over at YouTube who get a lot of traffic, the optimization that they're doing is even, let's say it's a 60-second video, right? It's a 60-second video. They will even drop it to 57 seconds. They'll cut it a little bit, right? Just so that they can get higher finish time because they're going to weed out any junk that's in the video, right? See, this is why I say more doesn't mean better. in the world we live in. Like back in the day, we used to say, okay, I want to create a 30-minute video because it's going to give more value to the end user. It doesn't work like that anymore, right? It's about like who finishes the video, who's finding value. It's simply, right? Like they have choices. People, when they're opening their phone or they're opening their computer, they have choices, right? They can watch your stuff, or they can watch millions of other people's stuff, or they can watch Netflix, they can watch Prime, they can watch whatever, right? There's so much free stuff or subscriptions people have. There's so much competition in the mind space that we have, right? So that's why we like to call, we have the attention economy right now. What that means is if you can grab people's attention, the money comes automatically. So that's the reason why I'm trying to explain to you some of the features we've added already in VideoExpress and we will be adding in the future will all be focused on this aspect of making sure what you can control. And that is basically getting more people to watch, pay attention, and finish the video throughout the process. Is that clear? Right? Is that clear so far? Let me know. Then I'll talk about how we go backwards now. Okay? Because if you look at it in a timeline, so we are talking about the end now, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to start the beginning, right? So the beginning, let's say, is here, right? So we're going to talk about that. So basically, if you think about it, right, whether you're creating videos for clients or whether you're creating videos for your own business, whether it's an e-commerce product, we're going to go into specifics in the future trainings, but I'm going to talk about the underlying framework, right? The idea is, it always, right, if you think about it, we want to understand who this video is for, right? So this is the biggest mistake. It sounds so simple, but it's like the most funniest thing. Like you'll see this in many business owners and stuff, right? So the first thing I'm trying to explain is who am I creating the video for? So because we're in the attention economy, right? You want to make sure you create the video for a specific person you have in mind, an ideal avatar, we like to call them, right? So this is the person who is like this little person who's your ideal customer, ideal client, ideal person, right? So for example, if you're talking about pregnancy, let's say, right? You want to say, okay, this video is going to be for moms who have twins. Much more specific, isn't it? So when somebody's going on their phone, like so, they have this phone and they're like opening up and like opening stuff, like, oh, twins, I have twins, I want to check. You see what I'm saying? So you want to understand and go specific a little bit, because then what happens is your watch time increases and your finish rate increases, because now you're talking to a specific person. Cannot please everybody, right? Can I do a video for everybody? See what I'm saying? So in the chat box, as sort of like, if you will, homework for you, is when you're trying to create a product or service, just type in the chat box what products or services, or what are you trying to do, what businesses you want to work with, what industries. I'll give you some ideas based on that. Okay. And again, I'm trying to tell you this, where even people with so-called successful agencies make this mistake, where and they kind of they're not going to be consistent in their success. Like I've been doing this stuff for 15 plus years now, right? Consistently, right? And what I've learned is the reason why I have such longevity is because of this point. I know who I'm talking to, right? And I don't care if I have 1 million subscribers or 1 million customers or whatever. I'm happy to serve specific people and addressing specific issues that they have. I'd much rather do that and be in that happy space, because the thing is, right, this is the issue, right? If you're gonna go for the mass market, right, either way, the saying goes, regardless, right? The funniest thing of it is, even in the mass market, and I've dealt with it, they're going to get 1%, okay? Just 1% of the people who watch videos actually subscribe to their email list, their newsletters, or even pay attention to them, right? What they have to offer to buy or whatever. The only thing is, the numbers at 1 million make a lot more sense, as opposed to say your number is 10,000 people, let's say. But to the fame, the notoriety, whatever, is not going to be that worth it, right? Like I'll give you an example, okay? I was talking to, like somebody who was a really, really famous YouTuber, and basically in the chess industry, right? So he has a YouTube channel where he plays chess, right? All these videos are about chess, okay? He doesn't even play chess. He just explains different things, right? Stuff you can do with VideoExpress too, by the way. It's like, okay, this move, this opening, whatever, right? Anyway, the point is, he was mentioning to me, which fascinated me. He was like, look, I only have, I think his subscribers are like, I don't know, maybe like just under 80,000 or something like that, right? So let's say 80,000, right? What he was saying was like, look, if I go to the supermarket, nobody recognizes me. Like if I go to your local movie theater, nobody recognizes me, right? But with these 80,000 subscribers, and I think he has some more wherever, I make enough and I'm very happy, because at the end of the day, I don't even have to be famous or deal with like security guards and all this other stuff, right? So similarly, what I'm saying is not a lot of people can handle too much notoriety, or what do you call popularity, that kind of thing, right? It's not fun, right? You'll see that. The sweet spot that I would say is trying to reach specific people and serving specific issues of those people, because then what's going to happen is you get the same benefits as if you were popular, and without all the stress, right? Obviously. So that's the thing. So understand who the market is and go specific in that market. So let's talk about it. Let me give you some examples on this, right? So let's see here. All right, Joanne has leadership skills development, right? So let's talk about this, Joanne, right? So we talk about leadership skills development, right? Who are we trying to reach here? Are we trying to reach people who are employed in a company, who want to get promoted in that company, right? So they want to learn leadership skills in order to get promoted, because now they're managing teams or they're managing under people underneath them. Is that who your target market is? Meaning employees who are in that company, or people? The other thing could be, say somebody's already a leader. Let's say they're a CEO, they're let's say vice president, executive vice president, whatever, the executive branch, right? Are you trying to target them to improve their skill set even more, to handle more stress or whatever? You see what I'm saying? Two different audiences, but I cannot really just create videos for both of them. You see what I'm saying? You want to create one, right? And then that way what happens is the person will feel it's talking to them, right? Their problem, right? Then when you do that, your video doesn't have to even be professional broadcast quality, because you're just solving their actual issue, and you're going that and explaining that in a step-by-step basis. Does that make sense? So same thing with video marketing, right? Okay, you want to talk about video marketing. What is such a generic term, right? What are we talking about? Are we talking about businesses? Okay, if it is a business, let's say that you're serving, what type of business are you serving? Are you serving service-based businesses? Let's say your yard cleaning, or your construction companies, or your roofers, or your plumbers, or electrician, or whatever, right? You're doing that. Or are you trying to serve restaurants? Are you trying to serve healthcare providers like dentists, chiropractors, physiotherapists, blah, 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 right? Or are you trying to do video marketing for e-commerce businesses? You see what I'm saying? See how I'm getting specific there? This is important. Then you can create videos, and nobody's stopping you from creating 5 videos for different people, but your video should only speak to one person. Does that make sense? It'll make your life easier to write the titles, the descriptions, and all that kind of stuff. Clear? Very important. Okay, now let's talk about Marcelo here, because hopefully this is helping, because I want to go into your industries, because I can talk about stuff I'm good at, but let me talk about what you're. Sports, promoting soccer teams, promoting soccer players. Okay, excellent. So let's talk about that, right? So now, who is your target market? See, this is an excellent example. Let me talk about this, okay? One of the mistakes people make, right, when this happens, sports, right, or soccer players. Generally, your soccer players are going to be what? Who are you targeting? 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 22-year-olds, right? They don't have disposable income, okay, to go and let's say buy a course, or your coaching, or your consulting, whatever. You're reaching the parents. Very important, okay? So my target market will be, hey, do you have a kid who's a budding soccer player, wants more help to level up their skills in the summertime? Okay, what sets us apart is blah, blah, blah. We do these things, right? Talking to moms, talking to dads, talking to, actual parents, because they have the disposable income to help their child pay, right? Same thing with pets, right? Pet owners, talking about dog owners, or cat, or whoever, right? Your dog doesn't have the money to buy your course or your training or whatever, right? It's going to be the parents, right? So it's going to be so you're going to target those people. You see what I'm saying? So one of the biggest mistakes people make is this. It's like, say, hey, soccer players, come to our coaching program, or whatever, right? Not going to be that helpful. Go for the target market. Okay, now let's talk about children's books, right? Again, who is the target market? Coloring books, puzzles, parents, right? And now you want to go age groups, right? Different parents, different age groups. So let's say some parents are wanting to create children's books, coloring books for kids from 3 to 5 years old. It's a specific target market. They have specific needs. Even when you go to Amazon and you go to Walmart and all these other places, there's a filter, right, for kids, where you have like 3-year-olds to 4-year-olds. These books are for them. 5-year-old to 7-year-olds. So people, even that are gifting stuff, right, they'll only go in that category. So you want to have your book go up in that category and have that target, right? So very important. So when I'm creating videos, I'm going to be, is your child 3 to 5 years old? So if that is the case, these books will be perfect to improve their brain power, their problem solving skills, vocabulary, that sort of thing. Clear? So very important. All right, now solar, right? Let's talk about solar. So the solar market, it's very interesting. It's very fascinating. So solar market actually relies a lot on government subsidies, right? A lot of governments basically provide, like in the U.S. In the Inflation Reduction Act that Joe Biden put together, what they did is they created like these really crazy solar incentives, right? If you put solar on your roof, or you generate solar electricity or whatever, the solar panels or whatever in your cottage or in your house or whatever, even in a business, you get these credits, right, from the government. So oftentimes that makes it more viable compared to when you're doing normal everyday stuff, right? So let's say gasoline, diesel, that kind of thing. So same concept, right? So very, very powerful in that sense, right? So again, hope that is making sense. Web design, same concept, right? And then if you're trying to do web design, who are you doing for, right? Is it e-commerce businesses? Is it for service-based businesses, small businesses, medium-sized businesses? What industry, right? You want to make sure you have that clarity, because when a dentist is coming in, they want to see other dentist examples from you. If a physiotherapist is coming, they want to see if you worked with any other physiotherapist type of stuff. So if you ever create a portfolio, it's much better to have a specific portfolio that you can share, that which makes them feel, oh, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. They've done it for other dentists or other chiropractors, other physiotherapists, whatever, acupuncturists, naturopaths. You get the point, right? So that's the other point as well, right? So this is the other point. Now this is affiliate marketing. Let's talk about this one. So I've been an affiliate, top affiliate for a long time in many verticals and stuff like that. And when it comes to affiliate marketing, right? Let's talk about this so that you have clarity on this as well. Affiliate marketing is no different than selling your own product or service. Okay. The only difference is you're selling somebody else's product. You don't have to deal with the customer support. You don't have to deal with the product updates and managing a team, all that stuff. You're just sending traffic and somebody's paying you a commission for that traffic, correct? So how you treat affiliate marketing is that if it were your own product, how would you sell it and who would you sell it to? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example, a perfect example. Back in the day, I used to be one of the top affiliates for a lot of offers and different spaces. So I used to interact with a lot of people, right? And so I used to be in Farmville industry. Farmville used to be this game, right? So I used to have a book on how you could basically I should promote this book on how you can be a Farmville farmer and generate, be top in front of your friends, look good in front of your friends, right? So people used to buy that ebook. I used to get a commission, and that worked really well for a period of time. So one of the things that I learned, which blew me away, was one of the top weight loss books, right? Let's say ebook, let's say digital product, right? Many years ago, was being run by this gentleman. I'll not say the full name of that person. Let's just say his name was Mike, right? So Mike, in this case, was running a weight loss ebook. And when I spoke to him and I was like, how are you succeeding so much compared to all these other people? Like, how are you doing it? And he's like, I don't want to share the secret, but since you're an affiliate and I want to get sales, I'll share it with you. And this is what he told me. So it's his ebook. Let's walk you through this, okay? And this will change your game forever for you, okay? Hopefully. All right. So what he said was, let's say we are weight loss, right? His product was weight loss. Okay. Now what he did is that he realized, okay, who is the target market? Generally, it was women, okay, with disposable income, right? So then generally women 30 to probably 55 years old, give or take. This was his ideal target market, right? So what he did is like, where do I find these women? A lot of people make this mistake, like, oh, tips to lose weight, tips to strategies to kind of, this paleo diet or ketogenic diet or whatever, right? And they're reaching a very, if you will, competitive market this way, right? What he realized is, hey, what if we go after women who like salsa dancing, right? women of this age group, but are like salsa dancing, right? Or women of this age group who like Pilates or yoga, right? Or meditation, or whatever hobbies a woman of this age group would have. You see what I'm saying? Normally, right? Or interested in fitness. And what he did is he was going to these forums and these Reddit groups and these even local events and stuff like that, where there were these, classes happening and stuff. And he would just advertise his product there. And imagine this would costing him literally for free. He was getting this traffic for almost free, like almost nothing. But when you went for the weight loss keyword in Google, it was costing $5 a click. Okay. It's costing $5 a click. So meaning for every click somebody clicked on Google ads or YouTube or whatever, it's costing $5. Very competitive market, right? You have Weight Watchers, you have big companies in it. And he's literally going into these places where the same people hang out, posting tutorial videos, training videos, course videos, and just getting them all into his ebook. Just was making a killing doing this, right? Other people kind of caught on into the strategy. But what I'm saying is, in many industries, there's these verticals. When you know who your target avatar is, you can go to their hobbies and where they hang out and stuff and reach them in these places, right? So in the case where it's affiliate marketing, understand what is the market and where are the target audiences with disposable income hanging out, right? See what I'm saying? So that way it's much cheaper and much easier to target them with your videos and with your content than it is to go generic. See what I'm saying? So that's the other thing, right? See, this is another one, right? Golfers is who I'm trying to communicate to, right? Okay. So these are people who are interested in golf, right? Now, what are the other things somebody interested in golf would be interested in? Let's talk about that, right? Who's your target market? Let's say your target market is, let's say, 45 to what, 60-year-old men, let's say, right? Men, right? Okay. So this is the target market. What are the things that are somebody of this age group interested in, right? They might be interested, let's say, for example, in some of the other sports, right? Like say squash. Maybe they're interested in that. Or if their knees are not that good, they might like pickleball, right? Maybe they like pickleball as well, right? Which is a new trend these days, right? Find out these things, right? And maybe they're also interested in, say, for example, let's say if somebody's interested in golf, they're trying to look fit and stuff. Maybe they're business executives. Maybe they're well off in their position in the company. That's why they have time to golf all the time, right? Let's say, well, where do they go? Maybe they're interested in certain types of food, like French cuisine, right? Because if you think about it, right, a 5-course meal, French meal, is more expensive, and therefore it's more likely somebody would go here, right? So you get my point, right? Maybe they're interested in other industries, verticals that are similar to what they are, their hobbies, and then you would go after them in these areas. So let's say there's a forum or a Reddit group, or maybe even a YouTube sub community, right? That is interested in this, right? And then you would go into that and you would target them with that specificity. Does that make sense? Because oftentimes it's not so much about what it is that you're creating, what content or whatever. It's always about, for example, about who you're reaching. What is the actual end goal here? And what do they like? What are their preferences and stuff? Okay. That's what we're trying to do. We want to understand, like, this person, this ideal avatar person, we want to understand them better than they know themselves. If you can do that, you won the game. Simple, right? And this is why you want to talk to people. You want to get an understanding. You want to hang out with people. Generally, the markets you go into, stuff you're already passionate about. Let's say you're passionate about fishing. You want to talk about, let's say, people who already like fishing. What are the other things they might like, right? That kind of thing is when you go into, it's much easier to market to them, right, than it is to go for something you have no clue about and then gets frustrated and give up, right? Because competition is going to destroy you otherwise. It's just you're not going to have longevity, right? So that's the other thing. Okay, now the other thing, right? Okay, let's see here. Let's say, okay, I cater to West Indians. I can't get it to render a steel pan or steel drum currently. It gives me shiny objects. Okay, good question. So in cases like this, what you would want to do, okay, is it's all about the prompts that matter. Okay, so we'll talk about that today. I'll show you some strategies here that we can basically get the type of prompts you need to get the results you need. What I suggest in cases like this is AI right now is extremely good in 3D, if you will, dreamlike images and stuff like that, rather than fully realistic. Okay, there's a reason for it. And it'll be a very complicated explanation to give you, but the idea is that if you're doing this way, go for sort of like dreamlike sequence, sort of like 3D, that kind of thing. You'll get much better output for stuff like this. Okay, in cases where realism, even if little bit it's off, let's say, right, things look weird, then just go for 3D and other styles which are in that angle. Okay, now let's go back here because I was talking about this. So let's go back here. So the direct with subtitle integration. Okay, so let's talk about this, how this works and where the tutorials are for this one. Let's discuss this. And again, this is just the start. I mean, we have a lot of other updates we're working behind the scenes, so I'll announce them as well soon. You can definitely let us know in roadmap because some of them are 80% done, some are like a lot closer, stuff like that. Okay. Okay. Anyways, so let's do this here while you're here. All right. So what I wanted to do, so let me actually bring up the app here. Okay, so how this works, just so you understand, is if you go and you export, let's say, a video. So let's say you go to export video, right? You export a video. So what's going to happen here is that when you export a video, this is the entire timeline, right? So not just one clip or whatever, the entire timeline. If you export a video, so that'll come up under your My Videos tab here, right? You see this, these are in this account, I only have 2, right? So those 2 videos, when you click on this right here, automatic captions, right, automatically link to your VidSubtitle account. So when you go into your VidSubtitle account, you can go to my projects, let's say right here, and then create, right? You see how it says import from VideoExpress. You can now import those videos directly by clicking this button. No need for you to actually download them individually from your computer, upload them again in this option and stuff. It'll be direct import from VideoExpress option. You click on it and automatically link to the account. And then here are all the videos I have in my other account, right? So like something like this, let's say, and then it will automatically see, it'll have that video up here, like so, right? Whatever it might be, and then you can upload that in as well, right? So you'll have all your videos show up like this. Does that make sense? So whatever it might be, you see this, I have all these other one. So you get the point, right? So like this, whatever it might be, it will load up those videos here like this, you see? And then now you can just go. So it's linking to your VideoExpress account. So how we are doing it is you just go in for specifics on how to go about doing this. All you got to do is go to tutorials, VideoExpress tutorials. And you see here, it says April 11th, VideoExpress and VidSubtitle integration. You click on this link and it'll show you exactly how to connect both accounts. And boom, it takes you a couple of minutes and it's set for good. You don't have to link it again after that. Okay, is that cool? So that's how that feature works. So meaning from when you, let's say basically you want to link both of them. So that way it speeds up your workflow now, right? Because in VidSubtitle, you have other options, right? So if I go back here, what are the options you have? Let's say you take this video, you go next. Well, you have the ability to add, let's say, captions and stuff, right? You also have the ability to resize the video into different elements. You have so many other, ways you can, customize that video, right? Add captions, subtitles, progress bars, countdown timers, all kind of good stuff, right? To create that video to have more excitement and stuff like that. Okay, so that is the other one. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now, the other thing as well, that is how the integration works. So again, just click on this VidSubtitle integration. This is how it works, right? You can watch it, simple, and then you can link both accounts and you should be good to go. Okay, that's the other one. Okay, now that's basically in all your accounts already. Okay, so yep, exactly. It should be in all your accounts. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, the other thing as well that I wanted to kind of show you is VidSubtitle not only integrates with VideoExpress, but you can also add other stuff. You have spokesperson videos I've added, all kinds of stuff you can do here. You can even bring in videos from other applications, not just VideoExpress as well. But this is a direct integration with VideoExpress, right? Because maybe you'll have hundreds of videos that you created with VideoExpress in the future, right? You want to add captions for all of them, you can do that now. Okay, does that make sense? So that's the other point as well. The tutorial will cover that. very easy for you to implement. Now let's talk about the other one, instant voice prompts. I kind of want to show you this one. We just implemented this one. Hopefully it works because my microphone is already being used by another app, but let's test. Okay, hopefully it works. Let's see. So all you got to do to make this work, let's go in here. Okay, you just open up the application. All right, so let's say you're in the VideoExpress application. You open it up like so, and then let me actually go in here. Okay, excellent. All right, so basically you're in an app like this, let's say, all right, and you want to go into create with AI, create with prompt or whatever, right? Click this one right here. Here you see this microphone icon, this one right here. So let's say, for example, we want to do here, right? So let's say, for example, a beautiful palace in a enchanted kingdom in the middle of a beautiful mountain range filled with snow, and a princess is standing there looking at this beautiful kingdom. You see? Instant, right? While I'm speaking, right? I just stop it here. It says voice typing. It'll automatically do it in real time. This is useful because you can see how it's working and all that. And then you can do a landscape, vertical, whatever. You can put 3D, 2D, whatever. It doesn't matter. And then you can just either extend this prompt or generate image preview, right? And there you go. It creates this right out of the gate, right? So this is instant now in Chrome. Okay, we want to make sure that you use it in Chrome because we have a special integration with it. So it will work perfectly with Chrome. With other browsers, it'll take you a little bit longer. Okay, this is what we mean by instant. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want to do something else, right? So if I want to say, for instance, a beautiful mountain range in the Himalayas where a monk is sitting down and meditating in full sunlight, and there is also an ethereal feeling to the actual color scheme and color code of the entire vision. I'm just making up something, right? In cases like this where you didn't know what to do, you just click on this and then you can extend the prompt. Okay, so our prompt extender will do a lot of the magic here, where it's gonna do like highly detailed, blah blah blah. You see this, right? So then you can click generate image preview, right? So you can do stuff like this. You see my point, right? So that's the other one. You see this right here. Okay, so basically this is what the real-time voice is. Okay, you can just tell it what you want and it'll generate it. Pretty cool, right? And this video, we just did this a couple of days ago, so that's the other one. Now this one is coming up soon, so coming up with Artily AI integration. I'll talk about this right now. So see how we did the VidSubtitle integration, right? So same thing. What we'll do is we'll be having a button that says import from Artily, and then all your designs from Artily will be imported into VideoExpress, no matter if it's your own images, upscaled images, whatever it is. And then you can then bring it in here and then turn them into these frames, and then thereafter videos. Okay, it's perfect for Artily users and also VideoExpress users who want more control over the editing capabilities of the image and stuff like that. Considering Artily is the best image designer, and it will be the best going forward as well. It will also allow you to do more, gives you more capabilities in terms of what you can do with it, right? So it'll give you more control over the videos you're creating and stuff like that. Okay, hope that is clear. All right, now the other thing that I wanted to talk about is what's basically how to do the end-to-end video creation process. Okay, so generally, if you go back into the timeline here, let's talk about that. So remember, I told you, right? First, we decided who this is, the who first, and then we want to go backwards, right? And then say what is the video, what platform, and stuff like that, right? So similarly, if I'm doing a YouTube short video, if I go back into the application here, if it's a short video, I'll start off as a vertical 9:16, right? I'll click on 9:16. So the framework, you see this, it's like this. It's like a vertical framework. And then again, like you see here, like if I'm adding any elements to it, like let's say if I go to media library and if I'm adding anything, I want to make sure it will be there. So even similarly, if I wanted to create from prompt, I will just, instead of creating landscape, I'll just choose this vertical 9:16 option. You see what I'm saying? Everything changes when I decide what platform I'm creating these videos for, right? Obviously. so that when you're exporting them, they look natively great. Okay, so that's the first part. You want to make sure you understand that what are we creating and for which platform, and then we go from there. Is that clear? So that's the first step. Then the second thing is who we're creating it for, obviously, and then the sub markets we're creating it for, right? So what I do is basically, as I mentioned to you in our previous training, I'm not going to do the exact same steps again, but the general idea I'll present to you. Okay, the general idea is when we realize, okay, the niche research we've done it where basically we have, let's say it's a weight loss market, and we're going to go salsa dancing. If it is, say, golf, I don't have to really only go for golf. I'll go for pickleball, French cuisine, and other stuff that is of interest to a person who's interested in golf, right? Simple as that. And basically, you can find the hobbies linkages, right? I always am searching for people's hobbies when I'm reaching out to these folks, right? Now, the next thing is the script writing part. So the script writing part I covered in the previous training session. So if you haven't
Yeah.
already, you can watch the videos. So yes, you were saying something?
Yeah, I want to share one more thing which is very interesting, specifically when you hone in your, let's say, I'm going after seniors, I'm going after moms, I'm going after dads, I'm going after specific demographic who does this specifically like that. Then what you can do in that kind of scenario, a lot of times speaking in their language really kicks in, specifically when you're like dealing with YouTube Shorts environment where it's like 2 3 seconds, and if you say something what they used to say or they're saying in their daily life, you click, right? Now, how do you do that? Actually, there's a step-by-step process to it. That's what we're going to cover in the next training. But in a way, what you can do is a lot of times when you give specific prompts to these chat engines, right? Chat GPT, bot, and all that, they come up with specific angles. Or when you tell them to treat themselves like your target avatar, they speak like them, and when they speak like them, you can use those wordings, and that's really really powerful. Believe me, guys. Because a lot of times what happens is, let's say I am a video gamer, for example, right? Now, if someone is saying, hey, are you sick and tired of your lower back pain because of excessive sitting on your game? Right? That does not hit me. Like, okay, I have a lower back pain. I know. I'm not sure if it's due to my longer hours of sitting, due to playing game. But if someone will say, hey, have you missed a kill just because you could not concentrate? Have you missed a kill, or have you missed winning that championship or whatever it is just because you could not concentrate? There's an energy drink for you which you can buy. Well, that just talks to me, right? Instead of so basically, this is what you have to understand when you're dealing with in this fast-paced environment, specifically like reels, shorts, or as you're talking about TikTok, right? And you only have very limited time to capture their attention. Your first 3 seconds, not just about the visuals, but your vocals matters a lot. So I just wanted to talk about that. Now, where do you come up with those? I'll be covering that in the next training. I'll be sharing those prompts. I'll be sharing those things. And there are platforms, because another thing, right? What Reddit, right? Reddit, and not a lot of people use it. It's an underrated platform to find. So I'll tell you, right? So basically, there's this person who does landscape, right? Now, in that landscaping, I don't know what issues homeowners, because first of all, I don't live in US. Number one. Number two, even if my friends do, I don't. They're not facing the exact problem that the client is tackling, right? Then what did I do, right? I went on to Reddit, right? And then I just looked into those forums where they're talking about, let's say water getting clogged in their, yard or stuff like that. And then that just gives me so many ideas that I can build upon, or I can use them as hooks, or I can use them as first 3 seconds to call them out, to call those problems, to talk in their language, right? So that's the secret tip that you should know. It's not just about understanding the customer. Yes, it is important, but it's about speaking in their language, because there are wording, there are some things, there are some feelings that you can only convey by saying what they've been through. So yeah, Paul, you can.
Yeah, yeah, good point. Yeah, I'll give you an example for me as well, right? Like I like fishing and I also like chess, right? So back in the day when I was in my school, I was like playing at a very high level in chess. And then what happened? Life happens, right? So I didn't go into a professional level in it, but I played at a very high level. Now, what happens is when I'm playing, either there's very high level of gameplay, which is just say grandmasters and that kind of thing. I'm a level underneath that. So what happens is that level underneath that, some people are playing to improve their skill set to get to the grandmaster level. Some people are playing for fun, like I do. I play just for fun. So what I'm looking for is just that slight bit of challenge, but also fun, right? I don't want to be forced to be in a situation where like I'm pressured, where basically it feels like I'm playing in a professional league. I'd rather just play for fun, whatever. So if I'm creating a content piece for those folks, like me, I'll be like, hey, are you interested in playing chess for fun, but at the same time have enough challenge where it's not boring? Well, this is the solution for you. Boom. See, took me what, 5 seconds to say that, but I'm speaking to that specific person. Cannot please everybody, but you see my point, right? When the person listens to it, same thing. Fishing, same thing, right? Like basically when we go fishing, one of the problems we always have is literally even on a catch and release kind of scenario where we're doing it all the time, it's just finding the best locations, right? Finding the right bait for the fish, and also basically what time to go, what's the best place spots. And generally the people, ironically, when you're reaching a lot of people like me, right, who are not very casual, we go maybe once in a while, not like once every week, but more casually, we will buy the best fishing rod, right? Because it's like this next modern generation. We'll buy this equipment, which is the fish finder, right? Where you can actually put that. It's like $5,000 or whatever, $5,000 or something or more, right? And we'll buy all this because we think it'll make us a better, person at fishing, right? But the main reality is you could have the best fishing rod, the best bait, best everything, but the location has no fish. How are you going to catch it, right? So somebody like me will be, hey, are you looking for the best fishing spots in blah 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 location? Well, we have them. Come here, join in, and this is a place where you're pretty much assured that you, your kids, your family will have the fish you'll catch, right? Whatever. So this is the other concept, right? So we're always trying to see how can we in the first 5 to 10 seconds grab people's attention of the target audience. And we'll talk about, like I said, Yash will talk about this in more detail, so you become more if you will, unstoppable, if you will, right, in terms of what you're doing in a longer time span. Okay, so that's the other thing. So see, because we want to go beyond just prompts or beyond just AI videos, it's about psychology, right? Customer psychology. Because if you master that, then you can literally just come in a few minutes, go to VideoExpress, create the scripts, post it, create the videos, boom, done, right? And you will get more traffic, more leads, more sales than the average person, because you know now who that target market is, right? Who you're trying to reach and stuff like that. Okay, now the other thing that I wanted to mention here real quick, and I think it's extremely important that people understand this aspect, is that people have this tendency, especially these days actually, that the same thing cannot be repeated multiple times. Okay, what I mean by that is we all know that if you basically work out in the gym or you do cardio, you're going to lose some weight, right? We all know that. When somebody mentions that, like, I heard that before, show me something new. But if said in a different way, right, just tweak the way you say it, you're going to, the same topic said in multiple different ways actually reaches more audiences, and you'll be surprised. Okay, so there's this tendency that, and we are guilty for it, I was guilty for it for many years, is that we tend to try to recreate and reinvent the wheel and try to come up with these new concepts, when in reality people just want the basics, right? Like, for example, let's write this down here so you understand it. Like when I'm talking about fishing, right, that's the market. I mean, the fundamentals are the same, right? It's the location, um, the bait, like what do you put, and also basically your equipment, right? Like what are you basically the fishing rods, and also are you doing it correctly, where if it's a big fish, can your fishing rod handle it, that kind of thing, right? The fundamentals have been the same for 100 years. It's not like they changed. But when you talk about this in your videos, it's not exciting enough when you talk about it. But if you add the word secret location, right, now it becomes, oh, whoa, what is the secret location? I want to know, right? If you say something like exotic bait or whatever, I'm just making up some wording, but you get my point. If you say like um, next generation equipment, right? Because people always want the latest, next gen, whatever, right? In little words, same concept, you're going to reach more audiences. Okay. This is the reason why you don't have to be this like a PhD in that specific topic. Rather, you just have to understand the fundamentals, right? Customer psychology and what you're trying to reach, right? So one of the things that we always do, right? We simplify the process such that what is the fundamental stuff that works, and how do we simplify that process so that we can make it work, correct? So for example, in the internet space, like if you're trying to build a business on the internet or whatever, well, it's very simple, right? Like, I mean, it's not really that complicated if you drill it down, right? So if you put this as a timeline here, let's say, so what do you need? You need traffic, okay? First thing, without a traffic, there's no lead generation happening, right? Then you're gonna need leads, qualified leads, basically, and then these leads will convert into sales, right? This fundamentally has been the case for the last 30 years. Nothing changed. Only thing that changes is the modalities, right? Before, back in the early 2000s, it was Google. Google was a very big traffic source, right? Before Google, you had basically the best traffic, source was, you had these little forums and portals that you can reach, sort of like Craigslist, but a little bit different. You would go there, right? Then forums were a really good source of traffic before Google came in, because people should search in forums, right? Go to a forum, search for what they wanted, specific forums, right? Now that changed, right? You can get traffic from YouTube, right? YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world right now. You can do that. You can get traffic from Facebook. You can get traffic from different places, but the fundamentals are the same, right? So if you understand then how, if I get, let's say, 100 visitors, how many of them will subscribe or join an email list? Let's say it's 10%, so it's 10 people. How many of these 10 will buy? Let's say 5 end up buying. I'm just guessing here, right? So the point I'm making here is that across this here, if you know what happens here, it doesn't matter what happens here. You see what the traffic platform is, because fundamentally it's the same stuff that stays the same for many, 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 many years, right? So then the question that comes, people always ask, right? And this is the mistake everybody makes, and I made this for a long period of time, is that we like, I want more traffic. I want more traffic, right? Oops, I want more traffic. How are you going to get more traffic? That's the question, right? Where are you going to get the traffic? Where are these people hanging out that you're interested in, right? Are they hanging out in Reddit? They're hanging out on YouTube. Where are they hanging out? Facebook groups, right? So if you drill that down, and then now you know where to get the traffic, then the leads and the sales will come automatically if you have that end in mind, right? Whether it's your consulting, your business. Because what happens is, if this is lacking, right? Meaning, let's say, for example, you are trying to send leads to a restaurant, and that restaurant doesn't take credit cards, let's say, for example. They only take cash, just as an example, or debit cards, let's say. Well, I mean, the guys or gals will come in and they'll be like, I don't know how to pay. Then you lost the sales. If you don't fix that, how is more traffic going to help you? You see what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that everything is sorted. This is why consulting and agency business is good. So you can go to a ready-made business where already somebody has a lead system and a sales system. They have an appointment system, like a dentist. Let's say they book appointments, they get people to buy. It's much easier to grow that business because you don't have to worry about all three things. Maybe you have to worry about one thing, right? Much easier to tweak those and get them to the next level, right? So just understand these points. If you don't get these points, you could create the most amazing video in the world. Even that video could get 1 million views, but it means nothing, because what can that video do for you? You see what I'm saying? So understand that when we talk about stuff, it's all about like, okay, what has been the same for the last 20 years? What will be the same for the next 20 years, right? Our business is going to need more traffic. Yes. Business is going to need more leads. Yes. Businesses want more revenue. Yes. So then we focus on these aspects, we hone in our skills on that, and then becomes easier thereafter, right? So this is the reason why I'm trying to say it's not about the software. Software is a tool, right? But the skills that you build will last you for the rest of your life, right? And those skills, you can be put in an island in the middle of nowhere, you have an internet connection, you can still utilize that, right? Those skills will always come into play, okay? So what I want to talk about today in a little bit, when we talk about end-to-end video creation, is the pathway, right? So if you go back here, let's talk about a pathway, a journey of a user, right? So, and this will help you understand script writing better. So let's say this is the journey, right? So a person starts off here, right? So let's say this person, I saw many people were posting different markets, right? Whatever. Let's say the person is trying to lose weight, as an example, right? So, and then let's say this is the person right here. It is success, right? This is the success that they are gonna get, right? So meaning this is the path, like started here and then they're gonna end there, right? But what happens, and what a lot of people don't realize, is that in the beginning, they try, right? They try solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, solution 4, solution 5, solution 6. Somebody told them like, hey, you can go back. You tried all these 3 solutions. You know what? Nothing is working. Go back to what you were doing there before. And then they try that. That doesn't work either, right? So what happens is your average person, especially with disposable income, we're talking 30 years plus, right? Somewhere around there. The average person at that 30 years old has tested 6 or 7 or 8 different weight loss solutions, maybe even 16 of them, right? So the assumption is that they tried stuff. So you cannot really sit and educate them on stuff that they already know. It's more like their mindset is like, look, I've tried everything. What makes you different? See what I'm saying? What makes you different? I've tried everything. What makes you different? That's the thing, which is the case with every product or service out there, pretty much, right? So when we're trying script writing, the first question we are asking, and we're trying to get at, we're trying to automate, if you will, is basically this person's mindset is very skeptical in nature, right? They're skeptics, right? Skeptical, right? And what you're trying to do is you got to make that person move, right, from that place of like uncertainty to certainty. When certainty occurs, sale happens, right? Or action happens. So here, if you look at the timeline, as I mentioned before, here they're uncertain, right? Right? And when they try different things, they're even more uncertain, right? Like they're trying, they're not getting the certainty that they need, right? So they're even more uncertain here. And then as they go here, they're getting more disillusioned. They try, it's not working, try, it's not working, whatever. And generally speaking, what happens is that at this stage is when you need to get certainty from them. Okay, certainty. This is the difference. Okay, this is what separates the greatest script writers to the not so great script writers. This is the difference between the greatest videos and not so great videos. The reward here, okay, the payoff we're trying to aim for, right, is something that is a journey that this person is trying to go. And the more certain that they become, the more likely it is that they will get it. So what we are trying to do in our videos, when we're trying to create stuff, is you need to elicit a response where they should believe that they can do what you're trying to show them. Okay? Meaning, believe it's possible. See what I'm saying? So, for example, in the weight loss case, if the person is an athlete, they were always fit, they had the best coaches, the best nutritionists, of course I believe that person can do it. I cannot do it, right? Of course, like this movie star lost 30 pounds and they look in the best shape in their life because they don't have any other work. They don't have to do a 9 to 5. They can sit and just eat all day, exercise all day, and they have all the best staff to monitor them and all that, right? If you say that, they'll not believe it, right? I mean, you could be, your solution could be great. So what people have to believe is, can I do it? Can I do it? So this is what we're trying to achieve. Whatever product, whatever service, whatever it is, the person should believe. Okay. And if that belief is there, it brings that certainty, then the sale happens. They'll finish watching the video, or even watching a video is a sale these days because of the attention economy, right? So how do we elicit this certainty? Okay, let's talk about that. So generally, okay, when you're talking about video creation process and we're talking about getting that belief and stuff, beyond just making a video exciting and all that kind of stuff, what we want to do, okay, to elicit the certainty is we have to assume that they've tried everything before and it didn't work out for them, right? You just have to assume like, okay, look, because it's like this. Hey, if you're trying to lose weight, you got to go to the gym, eat healthy meals, don't eat any junk food, and also exercise, and also make sure that you eat food in small portions. People that have seen that before, heard that before, so what, right? They just tune out. But at the end of the day, like, I know you tried ketogenic diet, it didn't work out for you. I know you tried paleo diet, it didn't work out for you. I know you tried, let's say, what is that, carnivore diet, it didn't work out for you. Well, those didn't work out for you because you had blah blah blah, right? You are a different person, you had a different DNA or whatever. Now if that is the case, what you want to do is just switch around into this new process that will first find out what the underlying issue that you have, and then you change your diet accordingly. That makes a lot more sense to people, right? Because now it's a different way you're approaching the same problem, right? Similarly, solar was a question, niche that came in, right? Same concept, right? If I'm trying to sell solar to somebody, they've heard about it. They might even heard some cousin or some brother-in-law or sister-in-law or whatever tell them, like, they looked into it, it doesn't work. The feasibility of it doesn't make any sense. Well, they start off uncertain, they start off skeptical. Now you got to tell them why it is better, why it is solving the issue that they have, right? You see what I'm saying? And you got to do that in 1 minute for a short video. You got to do that in, let's say, 3 minutes or whatever in another longer length video, right? You don't have that much time. People don't give you that much time. So what you have to understand is the target market. How do we get them from uncertainty certainty? How do they believe what's possible? And then how can you get them to that finish line, right? That reward or that success, okay? The modalities might change. That might require virtual coaching in some cases. That might require them to buy an ebook. That might require them to jump on a call like what we have right now. Doesn't matter. The point is that in the end of the day, people want the solution. How you offer that solution, how you package that solution, in what way you do it, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so what we are noticing more and more these days is that at the end of the day, when you are trying to get them to certainty, in the last 2 to 3 years, what's been the case, unfortunately, is that people are only actually paying attention to entertaining way of teaching. Okay, entertaining. Okay, it's just the way it is, right? Like, they can watch Netflix. Why should they watch your stuff? They might, yeah, they might have a reason to lose weight, but why should they watch stuff? They might as well go watch TV. They might as well watch a movie, or they might watch like a entertaining Mr. Beast video or whatever that has quick jump cuts and all this other stuff. They 5 minutes are entertained, right? So what we are trying to do then is, not only do we want to make it give certainty, believe it's possible, but we want to make it entertaining. This is where the stuff that we have within the application. So if you look at, let's say I open up one of my projects here, let's say like this one right here or whatever, right? What I'm trying to do is trying to make it entertaining in the actual way that I present it. So what I did here, I basically added a background music score. I basically added an interesting voiceover using our voiceover element here. And then also what I did here, if you see carefully here, little things matter here, right? You see this right here. The video track is slightly longer than the voice track, you see, because we don't want somebody to abruptly finish a video where it feels like, oh, what happened there? You want people to keep watching a video, right? So what happens is, if the if the voice ends, you're like, oh, interesting, and you're thinking about it for a couple of seconds, right? So we let that payoff happen even after that. Same concept, right? Doesn't, not that complicated. Same concept applies here, right? So that's what we are trying to aim for. Make it entertaining, but also get that belief in place, right? Now, I just wanted to also mention a couple of questions that came in here. I'm seeing some comments and stuff like that, right? Is basically understand, okay, that it's not about how good your video is. It's more like, what is the reward? What is the payoff? What is the success? What are we trying to aim at here? And that you have to explain within the first 5 seconds. Okay, people don't have time. People are busy. People have a lot of other stuff happening. So what I would do then is, if your markets, right, whatever your market is, this little section within VideoExpress is the most important section. Okay, the most important. Okay, no matter what people tell you, you got to talk about why they should watch that video. What is the solution? Yash was talking about that, right? We're going to cover that in our next training session in depth, okay? Specifically on this topic. Now, one thing I want to mention here, okay, as we are doing these training series and these videos and stuff like that, is understand, right? Some of the things I'm talking about right now will not make sense to you right away, but as you're in the process of creating these videos, going through the stuff and all that, it will completely hit, and you'll be like, oh, I get it now, right? So that's what we're aiming for. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few seconds to ask any questions here as well. And what my plan is, I kind of want to spend a few minutes to talk about the future of not only what's happening with VideoExpress, but AI in general and all that. And also, what I want to talk about then is what's coming up next, right? With Yash and me and the training that we have and some stuff we have. We already have the roadmap, right? So you can vote for the features and stuff like that. So let's say you go to the roadmap, you can right now go into the roadmap and request some features you have and stuff like that. So just go to roadmap.videoexpress.ai. You'll be there, and then here's where you can do. Okay, you see this? These are all the stuff you can basically upvote what you like and stuff like that, and we will know. Here, it's like dynamic cinematic intros and outros, interesting. Okay, and on, right? Increase video length, interesting. We'll look into that, right? So based on what you like, that's basically what will be the priority. So that's the roadmap, right? So yeah, you can post any questions that you have as well. Okay, so that you can basically, I can answer them as well. Now, again, for those who are joining in late and that sort of thing, you'll have a replay for this stuff as well that you can learn with. What I want to do going forward is also be more specific in what you need to. But this is fundamentals, is very important. Okay, that's why I do these things so that you understand, because if you don't get this, how are you going to help a client, right? Let's say a client is not a dentist, but let's say a DJ, right? Client is, let's say, for example, pest control. How are you going to talk about basically creating a video to serve them, to get them more traffic, leads, and sales? The only way you're going to know is if you know the customer psychology. But pest control too, people are skeptical, right? Uncertain. Like, my house is gonna, has pests in it. My apartment unit has pests in it, whatever, right? They're like, I don't believe your stuff will work because I've tried something in the past. Somebody told me it doesn't work, blah, 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 right? So it's just same concept, right? Nothing changes at the end of the day, right? It's all about you understanding that if they believe that it's possible with this person, they're willing to go out of their way to basically get the solution they want, right? So that is the other thing that I want to mention here as well. All right, so now, the other thing that I wanted to also talk about today is generally the future of AI, what's happening, and all that. Okay, because this is something that I feel it's very important we talk about, because there's a lot of junk information, a lot of people jumping from one thing to the other, right? Like these charlatans talking about stuff that they are not even experts in. Well, we've been in the AI space for like almost 8 years now, talking about it from the very early beginning. I keep talking about it, but this matters, right? So basically, what I'm going to talk about now is the future, where are we headed, and what's happening, so that you also know and you're keeping a close eye on it, right? So let's talk about the future here, okay? This is something that we're going to talk about. More in terms of practical use cases where I'm seeing, and I might not be right, but generally based upon our team, we have the best world-class machine learning experts, AI experts in our team, programmers, developers, researchers, scientists, that kind of thing in our team right now. So what we are seeing, right, based upon what we are working on, right? So just what's happening, what's coming on the pipe, that kind of thing, right? So first of all, let's talk about where we are right now. So we are in the early, okay, innings. Okay, let's say first innings, if you're talking baseball, right? We're in the early stages of AI. Okay, so think of it this way, right? Back in about 2002 or so, okay, 2002 to 2003, we had the search engine game, right? Like everybody were talking about search engines. Yeah, like 10 different search engines, right? So people were like, oh, we can search for stuff we want online, not yellow pages, not encyclopedias and stuff. Wow, okay, I'll do. So this was search engines, right? And around 2007, right, was when the winner, okay, when the winner, in this case Google, right, started actually dominating. Okay, so effectively, if you look at it, let's say 2002, actually in reality, if we were to talk it, 1999 was when Larry Page and Sergey Brin from Google, they actually wrote their first page rank, or the algorithm of Google that they wrote in their university thesis, right? And then what happened is they wanted to sell that system to Yahoo, and Yahoo wouldn't pay them the money they wanted. And then what happened to Yahoo afterwards, right? But anyway, even if you look at 1999 and then you see it, that was almost 8 years. Okay. Similarly, let's look at the next revolution that occurred, right? When broadband internet became better and stuff like that, what happened? Well, in 2007, something else happened. What happened? The iPhone, right? Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone. Why? He said like 3G, 4G, whatever. And down, I'm from Canada, so we had BlackBerry. When I went to university, we were like, BlackBerry was like literally next door, right? And they couldn't see this 3G, 2G, and all this other stuff, the spectrum going crazy, broadband internet connection and all that. So iPhone released that, and then around, it took another 7 years. Okay, so around 2014, it took for apps like WhatsApp, which is $1 billion app, right? Then you had like stuff like Airbnbs and all these apps, right? Mobile-based companies, right? Uber, right? These started around 2015. So from when iPhone released to this, almost 7 years, right? 7 to 8 years were passed before the real winners were picked in that particular revolutionary thing that occurred, right? So now let's talk about AI. Where are we at right now? Because it's important, right? If you don't know that, then you're going to be like some gal is going to come and be like, AI is dead. Let's move to the next new thing, which is, what do we do? Virtual reality, let's say, right? Like all these virtual reality headsets. Well, then you're going to miss out on the actual boom period, and you're going to be thinking, well, why do I always come last to the why do I jump last into the bandwagon, right? So what we're here, okay, let's talk about the facts here. I'm just going to say the facts, okay? These are all facts, so you can make a decision, right? Or however it works. So in November of 2022, okay, November, okay, 2022. So in other words, let's even treat it as 2023, because it's already like what, 1 month left, right? So let's say 2023. This is when Chat GPT came into the fray, right? What changed with Chat GPT was that people understood, the normal public, just like the mobile phone, they're like, ah, interesting. Now I can use the same thing in Alexa. I can use the same thing to search like Google. Now I can do all this other stuff, right? So then what happened? Nvidia and all these companies started investing. They're investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars right now. Just so you know, OpenAI, okay, and Microsoft, okay, Microsoft combined, right? They have other investments that are doing all this stuff. Just in one facility, okay, just one facility, they're investing $100 billion. Okay, this is going to be where they're going to train their supercomputer, and this one building is going to be worth $100 billion worth of stuff in it. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that one company is investing, not the other thousands of companies out there, right? So if you look at the trajectory, right? So if you say 2023 was when OpenAI built the revolutionary iPhone movement, right? So what we can infer is, let's say we add 8 years to this, okay? Just because at the end of the day, everything took 8 years for a winner to come in the fray, right? So that's going to be about 2031, okay? This is when your AI focused applications will come in, like your Alexa or whatever it is, right? So what I mean by this is, still in 2024, right? We're still in the early innings. If you're talking about 8 years, you're only like a year past, right? So not much has been going. You're all in the early stages. Infrastructure is being built right now. For the iPhone to really take on, you had to get 2G, 3G, and 4G, right? For the internet connections to speed up, such that your WhatsApp could be fast, your Airbnb, your Uber could work properly, right? Google Maps had to be invented for Uber to really take advantage of the map system, right? GPS system. So these are all the things I'm trying to explain to you. It takes time for the infrastructure to build around a revolutionary thing that occurs. And people feel like, well, I was not there when this 2023 movement came in, or this 2007 movement came in. I kind of missed it. No, the real actual players and the people who benefit from it, right? Like imagine for the you don't have to build a WhatsApp or any of these things. You could do consulting work. You can be in that field, and people will pay you a lot of money for it, right? Right now, prompt engineers, for just writing prompts, people are getting paid a lot of money because it's such a new skill set, right? So what I'm trying to get at here is that if you accept this fact, don't you agree with me then? It's worth your while to immerse yourself a little bit, maybe 30 minutes to an hour every day. And we will do our best, me and Yash and all the other folks in our team, to educate you and show you exactly how to take advantage of it, because we're spending millions on this. Okay, last year spent close to 3 million just on research and infrastructure and all this other stuff, right? So we're in the forefront. I mean, maybe not in the level of OpenAI, but in the trenches, right? So the point I'm making is, when we are in this stage, it's very important you understand that, okay, we're in the early stages. It's not too much. So where can I hone in on? Where can I focus my time and energy? Will that be AI images, AI video, or AI chatbots, or will that be some other stuff, right? So when you understand that and you master just one thing, right, that will be the game changer for you, right? So for example, when the iPhone released, people thought that was the end of Facebook, right? Because people are like, well, how can Facebook survive when iPhone is there? People will just message each other in text messaging. Why would somebody go to Facebook, right? Or whatever. Well, Facebook realized, I'm just going to make Facebook mobile compatible. Simple, right? I'm going to make Facebook mobile compatible. We'll buy Instagram, because that's mobile friendly version of Facebook, right? So then they did that. They made FB mobile, right? Mobile app. And then what did they do? I remember really well that those days they wanted Mark Zuckerberg fired, like the investors and shareholders, when they went public and stuff. And he worked on FB mobile app, and then he bought Instagram, right? What changed? Nothing. Rode the wave, right? Then everybody started using Facebook, everybody started using Instagram, and then lo and behold, Facebook is a $1 trillion company, right? So what I'm trying to say is, understand these are the facts, okay? Whether you listen to the doomsayers, you listen to the people who keep jumping from one thing to the other. I'm seeing this a lot these days, where folks who are like, AI is bad, AI is evil, or like whatever, suddenly they're like, oh, I have this new AI course. Oh, I have this new AI thing. Oh, you got to buy, right? Well, the reality is, we are such early stages that most of the stuff that is being spoken right now has not crystallized yet to the point where the winners are found. So what we are really aiming for is expertise and skill set, such that now we can be, like in the case of this Facebook mobile, right? If you were the first person to create reels for Facebook, you were the first person to create, let's say, content for Instagram, right? You got the viral traffic, right? Similarly, there will be the IG movement or Facebook mobile movement for AI here, right? And that's going to take time to occur, but it's going to occur, right? And that's why you want to pay close attention to, because what I did, what my claim to fame or my success, because I grew up with nothing, and what made me successful was I understood just this one aspect. Okay, I understood the search thing. Okay, and it even came late, actually. I started the search thing in 2006. Okay, literally in the late stages, right? So I figured out ways to get Google rankings, number one Google rankings. Simple stuff, right? Get backlinks, write content, write articles and stuff. Then I was able to rank stuff. I worked with clients. I helped out clients, and I was only like 17 years old at this point, and I helped clients out. And then what happened was that when I helped clients out, they paid me money. Then I was like, okay, what do I do? Can I automate this? So then we built some software. This took the first software that we built was almost in 2009, 2010, actually. Okay, in regards to search and optimization, you could say, well, you were too late because the 2007 was it was done. Well, not really, right? Because at the end of the day, we rode the wave, right? If I was like the kind of person who's like everybody else, right? Search engine is hot, but Google is old news. Now everybody is talking about, let's say, what was that? MySpace, right? Everybody's talking about MySpace now. Let's jump into MySpace. Well, you missed out on that, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing I'm trying to explain. It's not going anywhere. There are trillions, okay, with a T, is being invested by Microsoft, Google, Amazon, by governments right now, by even companies like Taiwan Semiconductor Company in Taiwan. China is investing hundreds of billions of dollars in this infrastructure. So what I'm saying is, it'll take time, right? You can't build a data center in one day. You can basically build the electricity that you require to power these data centers in like a day. It takes 3, 4, 5 years. And when that infrastructure is built, those who were paying attention to that will be the winners. Okay, whether you like it or not. I mean, there will be people like, oh, I missed the wave, right? Well, you didn't miss it. You're still in the starting stages, right? So understand this. Okay, very important that you get this. Okay, otherwise it's going to be like, I'll be talking to you in about 3 or 4 or 5 years, and you're going to be like, well, Paul, I listened to this live stream of yours, this training of yours, and I knew I should have done it, but there was this other guru who told me to move elsewhere, which was virtual reality. Well, not the case, because virtual reality, for it to work, it's going to be a 15-year thing, right? Remember when Elon Musk said with Tesla, and back in 2014, I think, or 2015, he was like, I'm going to build self-driving cars by 2019 or 2018. It's been 5 years since. Self-driving cars have still not come, right? It's not going to come for another 5 years probably, or 10 years, who knows. The point is, this right here is going to be more doable, because we know we are in the trenches right now. We know this stuff, right? So understand, then the better question to ask is, how can I leverage this knowledge and the skill set to grow my brand, my business and stuff, right? So the lowest hanging fruit, we always say, is coaching, consulting. If you have your own business, growing your own business with video, because 85% of video, content that's consumed online right now is video, right? But that doesn't stop you from doing other things out there, right? But just understand that all of us right now, even the people in the highest level and lowest level, whatever, what is going to change, it's going to be so instant, right? Like, remember when we had the CD-ROM drives, right? Actually, hopefully if I can pull this up, right? So let's just do this, right? So back in the day, for those who know it, we used to have these floppy disks, right? So we used to have these floppy disks. Remember, for those folks who were from that era, I used to use these, right? Back then. Then suddenly, these, because of their memory constraints, they were gone, and then we had these CD-ROM drives, right? We have the CD-ROMs, right? You had these CD-ROM drives, and then what you had was a rewritable CD, so you could rewrite the same stuff on multiple CDs, right, or DVDs, whatever. You can erase stuff and add it, and then suddenly, I remember really well, you had these USB drives come in, and all this stuff became obsolete. Like, you had these sticks, right, that came in, and all that stuff became obsolete. Computers had this, and all the computers which didn't have it died. Simple as that, right? And this happened overnight. I remember in school, like when we were using this stuff, like like the very next week, the teacher was like, well, we're no longer using CD-ROM drives and floppy drives, folks. Just get the USB drive, because our computers are not compatible with this old stuff. And we had to adapt, right? So same way AI right now, what's going to happen is, you're going to have to adapt, right? The next generation will have to adapt. And whether we like it or not, those people who adapt faster will end up being the front runners, right, of whatever change that occurs. And ironically, if you look at it even now, every single company is using, let's say, for example, right, if you think about it, right, every single company right now, Facebook or Microsoft or whatever, they're using text generation and image generation. They haven't gone to video yet, and we can go beyond that. Like, if you look at the oldest typewriter, right, let's just do that, right? So if you look at these were these old typewriters back then, right? Like, you would type in these things, and then they made the typewriter a little bit better. But as soon as, let's say, you could get digitization of stuff, and you got printing presses and stuff, these things kind of went obsolete, right? But just because somebody was a typewriter didn't mean that they were valued, right? No. Just like now today, we are seeing AI music, AI, say, generated images, videos and stuff. Just because somebody's an artist doesn't mean that they won't become obsolete like the typewriters went, right? But the person who adapted from a typewriter to the next printing press and all this other stuff, right, to the computers and stuff, they ended up being like more skilled, because they had the fundamentals still correct, right? So what's going to happen down the line is, every day-to-day stuff, right? And this is the thing. Before, everybody was like, oh, robots will be in the factories and they're going to take over. Not happening. It's going after knowledge work, right? Your legal assistants, your programmers, your software developers, your writers, right? Your artists, your folks who are in the creative field, right? Knowledge work, we like to say. All of these folks better be AI compliant, AI compatible, right? And if they're not, then those businesses will not survive. Just like how the typewriters didn't survive, the horse buggies didn't survive, right, when the cars came in, and that sort of thing. It takes time for infrastructure to build, and like with cars, right, they had to build roads, right, for the railway system. They had to build the railway infrastructure, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but when it does, it feels like it happened overnight. You see, like there's a photo, actually, I believe. 1900 New York. I don't know if you folks have seen. I'll show you this. 1900 New York horse, I think it's called. Yeah, New York City, right? Anyway, this was New York City in the 1900s. You see this? There was like all kinds of these horse buggies, and the roads were like a mess like this. You see this with all the horse manure and all this other stuff, right? And then suddenly, like it was like this. You see this? This is how the markets were. Then just when Ford released, right, the Ford cars, right? So I think it was 1930, I believe, like 1925, something like that. New York cars, I believe, right? And then look at this. This was the city, right? Perfect example. Same thing, right? You see this now completely changed, right? Now those people who are like, oh, I'm just gonna still ride my horse. Well, nobody here isn't, a single person is not here, right? And the thing is, they paved the roads, right? They paved the roads for the cars to go. They couldn't build the car until the roads were created, right? So similarly, they cannot build the next generation AI stuff without the infrastructure. Infrastructure, we mean these NVIDIA AI servers and these data centers and electricity and all this other stuff. That takes time. It won't happen today. It won't happen tomorrow. It's going to take 3 to 5 years for it to occur. But when it occurs, you will be like, whoa, they said it's going to be 10 years from now. It happened today. Whoa. And you keep thinking, right? It's because you got to lay that pathway. And that's what's being worked on right now. Okay. By all these big companies. They're putting all their money on the line, right? On this stuff because they need this to work, and it will work when people put that on the line, right? Like, we didn't have flying cars so far because Ford was the first one to commercialize the actual car, right? If Ford built the flying cars, we would have all been flying cars right now because infrastructure for flying cars would have been built. You see what I'm saying? Similar to the railway system, right? If cars were invented before the railways, our road infrastructure would have been even better than the railway infrastructure. Similarly, for the AI, they're building this infrastructure out right now. And once this infrastructure is built, it'll be like that broadband internet connection and all this other stuff. Okay. So just understand this. Yeah, I'm seeing some points here, right? So yeah, exactly. Sharp made an automated typewriter which helped reduce time and effort and was great for copywriters. Exactly, right? So that's the basic idea. Okay, you have to understand these things will occur, and me, Yash, our team will help you out in navigating through this in a step-by-step process. But just be patient enough to understand that everything will come into play and everything will make sense when you're ready for it. Okay. So hope that is clear. Okay. Because I know sometimes this is like, oh, I'm talking about stuff that you might have already known, but it's very important we see history, rhymes, right? It doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Same thing is happening now. Tomorrow, instead of like you using your everyday stuff like your Alexas and your computers and your phones and stuff in 2031, which I told you, right? 7 to 8 years, a timeline, completely is going to be different to what you're seeing right now. And our job is to ensure that what we are seeing becomes accurate, so then we ride the wave, just like how Mark Zuckerberg rode the wave, or anybody else when the mobile phone came in, right, with mobile apps and all this other stuff. I rode the wave when Google came, right? I, with nothing, like $0 in my pocket, I was able to really leverage the aspect of search engine optimization in the early days, because if I didn't do that, there's no way I would compete against these big corporations and big businesses, right? Otherwise, right? So similarly, that's what's happening right now with AI video and all that. I know some people are like, oh, AI content is being penalized by Google, or AI content is doing this or whatever. But trust me, they cannot avoid it when it becomes ubiquitous with a day-to-day living, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of time. Okay. So that's what we'll be focusing on as we go along. So the strategy, the tactics, and the focal point. And if you're the type of person who wants to jump in from different things to the other, maybe what we're teaching is not for you. That's okay, totally fine. But understand that these things don't happen every day, right? Since the iPhone movement, which was in 2007, let's say, or even 2014, let's say, when it got like, this is the movement, it's almost 10 years now. So the next thing might happen in 2032 once AI becomes thing, and that might be virtual reality, let's say. It's not going to happen now because nobody's investing money, resources into that, right? You will know it, right? If the infrastructure was being built, you would know the investment that they're making. They're not, right? Even Facebook, they reduced the amount of investment that they were making, like Mark Zuckerberg, in their own Oculus glasses, because they know that it's better to invest in this stuff, which is more clear cut, right? than it is to invest in that. So in 2032 is when this 2007 movement would start for virtual reality, but it's not the case now. But I do understand there are these gurus in the next year, 2 years of like, okay, AI is old news, go to virtual reality, but not going to be the case because the infrastructure is not built, right? So hope that is clear. Okay, is that making sense? Let me know, ask me some questions in chat box. We'll answer that, and we'll be calling it a day. The next training session is going to be coming up next week. Me and Yash will be there. To walk you through some step-by-step strategies on how to write the script, how to exactly write it for the perfect person, how do you use viral videos, how do you create with VideoExpress for let's say TikTok or Instagram Reels and YouTube Short, specific platforms, right? What
Yeah.
tags to use, all this other specific stuff we'll be focusing on next week. But understand your homework right now is understand what industries and what's your target market, who's your ideal customer, who has the disposable income that will end up paying you for something. That is something you want to think about because that will help your video creation process much easier. Okay. So where
Yeah.
are the training videos located? They're all in video, the tutorials tab. And when this is done, we'll also put it up in the notifications for the app itself. Okay. So if you go into the app, right, you're going to find it in this tab here. You see this tutorials tab, you click on it. We're posting all of them here. Okay. See this masterclass one and all that. You'll see them here in the tutorial section. Plus, what we're going to do is as you log in, we're going to have the notifications tab pop up as well with the training as well located. Okay. So that's as well very, very important. Okay. Now,
And
yeah, go ahead, Ash.
yeah, and not just not just about, let's say, prompt or script writing. What I'm really fascinated to see that how other people's and in real life examples how they're using AI videos to get, to grow their followers, to boost engagement, to drive sales, so that the best thing you can learn from is a real life example. Because a lot of times what happens is my best ever marketing campaigns never came out from, like, because any idea is not a new idea, right? It is somewhere, it has been done in any place, shape or form, right? So my best ever marketing campaign ideas always came up, or I got them with an inspiration from some real life example that does not have to do anything with my industry, so to speak, right? So for example, I just want to share this one quick little thing, right? So you never know, because I'll be sharing some real life example what we are noticing in different industries, different like e-commerce, local businesses, agency stuff, and all that, right? Because one of the marketing campaigns that I think one of our amazing members pulled off for their software product, they got an idea when I shared how about a perfume ad, right? The hook they use, the opener that they use, right? So that's the thing. So I'm really excited for that, like, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right. So Yash is going to be going in depth on the tactics and how do we integrate it with Video Express and some of the stuff, and also have some other cool updates we're making behind the scenes. I can't talk to you yet because we're still like 95% there, let's say, right? So once it's closer to 100% is
yeah.
when we're going to release those updates for you folks. But definitely the next big one that's coming up, as I mentioned here in this presentation, is the Artily AI integration. So it's already finished. I'm testing it in my internal account, and my team is testing it. So that's going to be the next update. So I'll definitely send you guys a notification on it, and it'll also be in the app once it's ready, because that's been the number one requested feature in the last week or so. So that'll be the next thing that we're going to be talking about. And of course, all the feature requests you guys are posting and gals are posting in the chat section as well right now, just make sure that you update it in the roadmap as well. Okay, so roadmap VideoExpress.ai. So just definitely let us know in there so that we can see what other people want. We'll go based on the popularity. So now 1% thinks that's what majority of the people want, right? And we'll prioritize based upon that. And that's how we wanted to go, right? Because we have a lot of updates we're making internally as well with our own features. So basically those will be done, and then what you're requesting will be done as well. Okay. Now the other thing that I wanted to mention here real quick, the last point I wanted to make here is that see, Video Express right now is 10% where we want it to be, because there's a lot of other stuff we are researching right now. So I don't want to go in depth on it, but like one of the other ones we're doing is right now you can create 7 seconds videos. We're looking at more longer length than that, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Right now, let's say you can create say 11 seconds, let's say, for example, or even higher length and stuff like that for the prompt. and how to have coherence where you put the prompt once and creates a longer length clip. These are the research development stuff you're doing behind the scenes. All that stuff, when we implement it, will be free for you folks anyways, right? But it's a work in progress. Like I told you, if you go back here, right, we're in the first innings, right? Like 2023, 2024, it's the first innings. So as we go along in the next year, a couple of years, what VideoExpress is right now will be 10 times better for sure. It's just the way the AI technologies are working and how they're going, the speed that things are moving, right? And what our goal is that we want to integrate, like how we started this integration process right now with Artily right now. That's the first integration. The next one will be HumanPal, for example. We're going to integrate HumanPal into, say, for example, VideoExpress. These are the things that we are planning on, okay? And that way, every app that you have with us will have a purpose, right? And integrations that work with it, like HumanPal being the #1 spokesperson platform in the planet with AI created, and then Artily being the #1 AI image generation platform. And of course, you got VideoExpress, which is the AI video creation platform. You can create all kinds of videos with a prompt, right? How do we integrate all three together? You can. And that's why we're integrating all of these together, and more integrations will come in between our apps, so that when you have our applications, be like, oh, okay, I want to create an image, but then I wanted to put that image in this video, and then I want to take this video, and then I want to put a spokesperson in that video, and then I want to add an intro in here, I want to add captions. All of them will talk to each other. You see what I'm saying? So that way you actually have really professional videos and professional content and stuff that you're creating. And that's the starting phase. Like I told you, this is Artily, the first one, and the next ones will be coming up soon. So we are seeing your comments, we are seeing it in our group and everywhere else. So that's the exciting stuff. And of course, I do see now the other thing as well that I want to talk about as well real quick is, when we are working on stuff, our goal is to make it the best possible solution that is ready to go and commercially usable. We never really create something just because it sounds cool, but more like we create something that is actually usable, right? So that's why sometimes I can't even share some of the things that we are working on right now, because maybe it doesn't come to fruition because it's only 80% good, right? Which is not good enough for us. We want it to be usable, right? Because we want you to publish it to YouTube. We want you to publish to social media. We want you to get traffic, leads, and sales for this stuff, right? So that's the goal. So now what we're planning on doing is going forward with next week. So almost once a week for sure. We're going to be having more of these training sessions and updates and stuff. And if it's a short update that you want to talk about, like the Artily integration, I'll quickly put up a video, a tutorial, and I'll send you guys an email, and gals email, and we'll mention it in our Facebook group and our Skype group and stuff like that. Okay. So that's the other thing. So if you're making any of these updates and stuff, it'll be fast. But on top of that, there'll be training from me and Yash as well to talk about specifics of how can we use VideoExpress, how can you use some of the other stuff to create really professional videos. And again, if you have the fundamentals correct, then the other part becomes so easy, right? Like customer psychology, if you know how to do it, how do you make people believe? How do you make people understand that, okay, your solution is better than the other 10 other things that they tried before? And also, how can you, when you're creating the video itself, how do you have the end in mind before you even start the video creation process, right? These are things that you need to know for sure, for sure. If you don't know this stuff, then it's almost like VideoExpress is a toy, right? It's not a real professional application you can use, right? Similar to like Photoshop. I know so many people try to use Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, After Effects, all these other tools, and they try to use it like a toy, and then they're like, okay, I give up. This stuff is too hard for me. It's not serving my purpose, right? The thing is, it's not about the tool alone as well. It's about like what purpose you're using it for, right? That's why we want to teach you and help you, right? And that will help you speed up and take your business to the next level. Okay. All right. So that said, have a great day or night wherever in the world. If I didn't answer your questions right now, definitely keep posting them. I'll come back to it afterwards and answer them in the comment section and that sort of thing. Okay. So that way it's going to be crisp and stuff like that. And you should be good to go there. Now the next one, as I said, will be next week coming up. It's going to be pretty cool. We have some specific content to share, what prompts, what type of videos to create, specifically, and for different platforms that generate traffic, leads, and sales. How are people using VideoExpress and AI video specifically to grow their brand and business and that sort of thing? That's what that focus will be on going forward. And of course, any updates we made, you'll get them right away. Be sure though to do vote on our roadmap. Like, this is the roadmap link right here. Roadmap at VideoExpress.ai. Will be checking that as well as we're making updates and prioritizing things that we'll be working on. Okay, so that said, have a great day whenever in the world you're in. Wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Take care, folks.